I want to quickly talk to you about how to write a business proposal that actually wins deals this year. Okay, no random stuff. Actually, a method that can get you deals right away. Okay, let me first define for you what a business proposal is, because we can't have a conversation about business proposals if you have no clear idea about what a business proposal really is. Okay, so if you think about a business proposal, I want you to think about a presentation. Sometimes it can be a PDF, sometimes it can be a Word document that actually details a product, service, or project to a prospective client. And this can be a prospective client, it can be a prospective investor, it can be a prospective regulator or a stakeholder. Okay. So a proposal actually is used near the end of the sales process and covers the prospect's needs and objectives and the provider's solution, pricing, and expected outcome. So basically, this is your way to actually make the sale. Okay. You have to really talk about your USP, your unique selling proposition, or your unique value proposition. Okay. Now, a successful business proposal ends with a prospective client accepting and signing the document. That's what you want. Okay. And PDF is traditionally the go-to format for business proposals, but in recent years, and increasingly with the rise of AI, leading sales teams and professionals are transitioning from static PDFs to interactive proposals that give prospects more freedom for customization. Okay, so that's really good, and also increase the likelihood that the prospects will accept and sign the document. Now, there are several types of business proposals. If you think about it, you have a service provider business proposal, you have product business proposal, you have project business proposal also. So that's really good. Okay. In terms of flexibility, fantastic. So when I say service provider business proposal, this will cover things like, let's say, cleaning, security, gardening, IT, staffing, and management. So you are speaking about services given over time. Service proposals normally include start and termination dates for the service instead of timelines and milestones, and focus on deliverables rather than KPIs. Then you also have a product business proposal. This covers a product or a solution. It's commonly used by B2B SaaS companies and high tech or manufacturers that supply parts or raw materials to other companies. And this type of business proposal can focus on KPIs and ROIs in the case of SaaS, or on delivered quantities and qualities in the case of manufacturers. So this is not to be confused with a product proposal given to stakeholders and decision makers before product development or a product launch. And then you have also, like I said, you have the project business proposal. This actually covers a service, a deliverable provided once and limited in time. And this type of proposal is used by providers such as consulting agencies, construction companies, engineering firms, legal firms, and website development companies. So let's talk about solicited versus unsolicited business proposals. So if you are thinking about writing a business proposal that wins deals, you have to really understand what solicited can be and unsolicited can also be. Okay, unsolicited means that basically this is a proposal that's part of early prospecting to generate leads and MQLs. Okay, so marketing qualified leads. So these are necessarily the same as sales prospecting decks. What about solicited? Solicited informally as part of the sales process. So these proposals, sometimes called sales proposals, are used after one or more sales meetings have occurred and only after the prospect has shown interest in buying. This is what most people refer to when saying business proposal. And then you also have solicited formally as a response to an RFP. So we are speaking about request for proposal. So an RFP response is sent only when an RFP is issued for a service or solution that you provide. Often the RFP will have particular requirements and a specific structure and format for application actually. So a business proposal will actually look like something very structured, okay? And like I said before, the standard format is PDF. So proposals are often designed to be aesthetically pleasant and more inviting than a text-only document. Okay, that's something to really think about. Even though, like I said a little earlier, also recently, a lot more people are switching to more interactive types of PDF, more interactive types of proposals. So if you want to write a business proposal slide by slide, you need to really understand that it has to follow a certain logic, right? Title. The title slide is like a shop window. It's your prospects' expectations for what's inside, okay? And so it should be visually appealing, but that's not enough. To get a head start over your competitors with your proposal title slide, it needs to capture the essence of your value proposition, establish relevancy, and create intrigue. So that's easier than done, but definitely doable. Next, you also have the personal note or cover letter. So this is an introduction that covers the readers into that really covers your introduction in terms of easing the reader into the proposal. It establishes the basic context needed to start reading. So your cover letter should be kept conversational and short. Don't make it too cold and formal, and don't make it a form of an executive summary. Just make the connection to past meetings, voiced expectations, and people involved. Okay, it's actually good practice to put a face to the note to make it warmer and personal, like in the example you're seeing on the screen here. You also have table of contents. So you want to add a table of contents to your proposals for three main reasons. Number one, it manages the prospect's expectations and lets them quickly see if everything they expect is in the doc. It helps the prospects assess the effort it would take to review the proposal. It allows prospects and decision makers to also access deep content easily and quickly in their first and subsequent reviews, actually. So this is really good. You could also add jump links so that you can have you can give prospects the ability to jump from one slide to another. Okay, especially the slides they find more interesting or more important. You also have to think about the executive summary. So executive summary, basically, this should be kept very short and easy to scan using bullet points, ordered lists, short text, and preferably a video if you are using interactive proposal formats. And so, what should you include? Should you include in a business proposal executive summary your company and expertise, key selling points, the client's imminent needs, the impact of your products or service, and what you intend to do and provide. Okay, that's really important. You also need to think about challenges. So, the challenges slide, sometimes called the problem slide, is a short yet ultra specific description of the problem or challenges that plague your prospects and that your solution aims to solve. Okay, since your prospects knows their own pains, there is no need to explain them in length. Simply describe their pain points in titles using their own words from past meetings and correspondence. Okay. You also have objectives. That's another important element when it comes to business proposals. So the objectives slide lists the desired detailed outcomes gained from procuring your service or product. This is essentially the mirror image of the client's challenges. So you want to use the prospect's own words to articulate their objectives. Same as same as what I said about challenges. You also got to think about the product or service overview. Here, you want to explain what your solution does, a bit about how it does it, and what makes it uniquely valuable. Like why your business is different when it comes to getting things done. So make an effort to focus your overview on how your solution addresses the client's main problem, important features or deliverables, and especially the impact it brings. So this slide is actually best done with a mix of video and text, where the video gives a broad overview and the text is tailored to the specific prospect and their concerns, right? And finally, on in a business proposal, you got to have the deliverables too. So here you are speaking about services beyond and around the main solution, like onboarding, for instance, integration, training, design, customer support, dashboards, documentation, audits, hardware supplied, and everything else. Okay, so that's really important from a flexibility point of view to get things done properly. So, how do you make and present a business proposal solution slide? First thing first, when creating a slide, you want to provide a brief list of the specific services you will provide, right? Explain how these services will be delivered. And again, here we want it to be a granular, step by step. This will remove uncertainty and unwanted surprises. It will give the client the confidence to move forward and help you justify pricing. And when presenting the slide, you want to discuss the timeline with the client during the proposal presentation to ensure alignments. You want to explain how communication will be handled. This will help you to align the client's expectations for response times and meeting schedules with what you are willing to do, right? Now, one thing I need to say here is that don't actually offer too much, okay? Don't offer too much access. Be cautious about offering too much access using direct messaging to avoid constant interruptions, okay? And you also want to talk about outcomes. This is important. Outcomes, benefits, and ROI. This is another slide. So this slide includes the outcomes the client is expected to get by procuring your product or service. Now, the most compelling outcomes are measurable impacts on the client's KPIs or support them directly. Now, measurable outcomes demonstrate your accountability, which builds the client's trust in your ability to actually deliver. Now, how do you make a business proposal? Let's say outcomes slide. So, you want to clearly define how success will be measured using specific KPIs. So that's really important. You want to agree. You want to agree on those metrics and KPIs during the initial conversation with the prospect, right? It's all about setting expectations properly. No surprises, okay? And you also want to ensure KPIs are easy to understand and directly tied to the proposal objectives. Because otherwise, if you have a pretty interesting KPI or pretty interesting KPIs, but those KPIs have nothing to do with your proposal goals, that's not going to get you far. I'm still working you through how to write a business proposal slide by slide. So now let's talk about the team. So the team slides puts faces to the service you provide. This slide introduces the specific team within the company that will take care of the clients and work with them closely to achieve their objectives. So people trust and appreciate the individuals they collaborate with more than a faceless organization. This gives the prospects a sense of connection, which could reduce their focus on price, and that's what you want also. And if you want to create a business proposal team slide, you want to include a quality image of 2 to 4 key team members with a friendly expression. Assign every team member a short professional description with their job title, responsibilities, and past success. You want to connect every team member to their LinkedIn profile to allow the prospect to learn more. You also want to put social proof. So, social proof is the standard for almost any type of persuasive document, especially this year. So, a social proof slide can include video testimonials, client review quotes, client logos, trust badges, and awards. Okay. Limit yourself to the minimum needed to show trustworthiness, authority, and capability. So, make sure that your social proof closely resembles your prospect's challenges, niche, and circumstances. The more your prospects recognize themselves in your quotes and testimonials, the more persuasive it will be. You can also have a case study. So, case studies, sometimes called customer success stories, serve as proof of your competence and capability to deliver on what you promise. So, most prospects will want to see proof of a past success with the clients like them, with a client like them, with the same needs and challenges. So, the example, it's something to really think about. Okay. and also pricing. So it's a pretty interesting one, the pricing slide. So the pricing slide can either show your pricing plan options in case of a SaaS product business proposal, or show the breakdown of the services and deliverables provided in case of a service proposal. Now, both options are pretty cool because both options allow the client visibility into the investment and their corresponding impact, but it also gives them control over the deal at a more granular level. So this minimizes frustration over unexpected cost or missing deliverables they expected to get, which were not included in the deal in the first place. Now, if you want to build let's say, an impressive business proposal pricing slide, you want to present the prices along with their potential ROI and non-monetary benefits. You want to emphasize the value and outcomes to shift the client's focus from cost to investment, and you want to allow the prospects to actively select the plan they want or check it every individual service they require to give them a sense of control and ownership over their decision. You also want to think about terms and conditions. This is another important part of business proposals. So this section is the binding legal documents that list the terms of the agreements and the compensation every side should receive. This is for your legal team to determine. Things to ensure in your terms and conditions include a summary of the engagement duration and termination terms, clearly state the compensation details and payment schedule, and break down payments into phases and ensure that you get paid before starting work, even if it's a partial deposit. Okay. And also have agreement and e-signature. So this is the part all your efforts have been leading up to. All you need is a beautiful signature in the box that seals the deal. Don't use a static PDF, as your business proposal format is pretty streamlined. Okay, if you can avoid it, just don't use a static PDF, since this makes this part more difficult and may trip you at the finished line. Okay, and also put the next steps. The next step slide is where you tell your clients what will be the next immediate mutual action items after accepting the deal. The plan for moving forward should be clear, concise, and involve specific people. Okay, so this is important in terms of accountability, in terms of flexibility, and also the context. So the contact session is pretty straightforward. So provide your contact information so your contact or any decision maker within the client's organization can communicate with you to ask questions, get more information, or update you on progress. Okay. So before writing your proposal, you want to collect the critical information to customize your proposal to the client's specific needs and circumstances. Make sure you understand the prospect's decision-making process and criteria. Get the client's expectations for the next steps and timelines. Get also, and this is important from a flexibility point of view, you want to get verbal agreement from the prospects before writing your proposal, right? This bit is critical. Only write your proposal after discussing with the main points of a possible deal with the prospect and getting their agreement. This will avoid nasty surprises and misunderstandings, actually, okay? And don't send your proposal by mail, actually, please, okay? It's just that you don't want to really have it lost in the mail or something like that. So in conclusion to this conversation, I explained to you how to write a business proposal that wins deals. Thank you so much. God bless you. I will see you next time. Until then, remember, stay marvelous.